Hey folks, welcome to your very first video of the new year, and welcome to Chambers classes. So today we're going to be looking at Colonial America, obviously, because that's what the slide says, and we see nice little boats and big boats and natives going, what the heck is going on? Where's my wall? All right, so let's get on with it. Okay, make sure you have your notes that are entitled Colonial America Guided Notes. All right, so the four main reasons why people came to the New World. What I would like you to do is simply take a guess, all right, what the four main reasons might be, all right, and you can jot it down or type it out and highlight it a certain color if it's your guess, and then you can put the true answers in a little bit. And if you notice on the right hand side, there is another part that says my guess. That is not for the PEER. That is for why people left Europe and went to America for those specific four reasons. The PEER. Okay? All right, so hopefully you had the four answers correctly. That is the political, exploratory, economic, and religion or religious. And what we're doing now is, again, try and think of reasons why people would leave Europe and go to America for political reasons, for exploratory, for economic, and for religious. You can put it on pause before you move on to the next slide. Okay, so for each of the four categories, as I said, you're doing a whole my guesses thing. Hopefully you have figured out some, and we are going to get into our political thoughts at this time. All right, political. So first of all, we have Spain. And I am making this a lot easier for your first one. All right. So it is something that is able to help you study as best as you possibly can. I've highlighted everything in purple for political, orange or yellow, whatever it is, gold for exploratory, economic gets green for money, and religious gets red. All right, so we are trying to make sure we get all this information. So here's the situation. Spain came to the New World. All right, Columbus committed to find a western route to the Orient for Spain. All right, even though he was Italian, he decided to do this for Spain. And the situation is dealing with the Pope. All right, the Pope created a line of demarcation in the New World, and that would be the Treaty of Tordesillas. All right, and Spain influenced the Pope to declare all lands west of the 38th longitude west longitude line to go to Spain. Portugal would get all lands east of that line. If you look at that line on the map, it's basically they get parts of Brazil and Spain gets the rest. And that's why most of those countries are Spanish speaking. And that is what happens and how Spain gets to have some kind of a say in the New World. In 1588, the Spanish fight Britain. Right? Spain was the most powerful navy in this era. All right? And the Spanish Navy, the Spanish Armada, fought England for control of North America. England did not follow the Catholic tradition, they did not follow the Catholic Pope, and mainly because they weren't Catholic anymore. At one point they were, but then they broke free, made the Church of England. And in this situation, Spain lost in this battle. It's fought up in the English Channel, and a hurricane, basically, or strong winds at least, hits that area. And people at that time said God obviously prefers England and gave thanks to the Protestant wind for allowing them to beat Spain. And that's the true story as to why England then gets control of North America, specifically America, today. All right. Now let's look at France. France wanted to gain control of Canada and all land west of the Mississippi River. So what we would now say Kansas, Nebraska, Louisiana, all the way to the Pacific Ocean. And the French fur traders developed really great relationships with the Native Americans, and they built this trading empire pretty much with them. Now, England, we're looking at, remember they defeated the Spanish Armada in 1588, and this is important. This is important stuff. So what I would like you to do is to put it on pause and take a guess and write down in your notes why you think this is such a huge or big important deal that England defeated the Spanish Armada in 1588. And you can circle it, you can highlight it, whatever way it is, make sure it says my guess. Okay, so politically, England, basically why the defeat of Spanish Armada in 1588 is important. So first of all, England gains control of North America. That's just the way it is. And we already mentioned that earlier. But England becomes strong. They become unified. They become more nationalistic almost. And they have a popular leader. So there's our two reasons. Third, we start to have a religious unity, all right, as they believe God must be on the Protestant side. And finally, it gives them a sense of nationalism, which I just mentioned a little bit ago. And they feel that they are just destined to become a great nation. And they do. They start to take over a lot of lands. And there is a saying that says that the sun never sets on the English Empire. And that's because they basically own land all around the globe. Exploratory. All right. So why? We have our political, and now we're on exploratory. We still have economic and religious to go through. The exploratory reasons. They wanted to find a Northwest Passage. All right, to get to China, to get those spices, and they wanted to try and establish businesses by gaining a good trade or good wealth. All right. But the main thing with exploratory is the idea of primogeniture, all right? So it's the first generation or the firstborn. The firstborn son would get land through inheritance and things like that. So younger sons would actually use their father's wealth to go find land in the name of their father or ruler. And this is why certain individuals do go out and become explorers. Prince Henry, the navigator for Portugal, would be one who basically we remembered him. We don't remember his older siblings. So economically, we have the Crusades happening, as we mentioned a little bit ago with exploratory, because they had to get those spices, and they wanted to basically the Crusades introduced a new way to live, and it caused a desire to trade. To live more comfortably, because we all love to live in comfort instead of having to struggle for anything, right? And so this is in style, to say the least. And so individuals leave Europe to try and get rich quick, and they want to try and find gold and silver and iron, and that would be the conquistadors that went down to what is now Mexico. So they do have get rich quick schemes, trading and things like that, and sending them all back to Europe. The other situation is, I'll explain this possibly in class, the enclosure movement. All right, so basically the landlords had all the land, and they would fence off areas that would be the common ground, and they would force commoners to basically buy newly fenced in areas. And some of these people are just like, forget it, I am moving. to the New World. All right, they're tired of the landlords, the owners of the land. And lastly, our religious reasons. All right, so religiously, people thought that they were going to be able to find the Garden of Eden in the New World. And this all starts because of the Protestant Reformation. Basically, people should respond to God and not to the church for their answers. And the big idea with the Protestant Reformation is something from John Calvin, or Calvinism. It's a reform movement trying to get right. There's 5 tenets of Calvinism that they are trying to basically live a proper life. So Calvinism, God has sovereignty over all of our souls, and humans are weak and wicked due to our personal sin nature, and the elect would then go to heaven, and God chooses some to go to heaven, some to go to hell, and works do not save your souls. So that would be the opposite of what some of the teachings were at this time. Only faith is able to save you. So this is something that was going on, and they wanted to go out and spread this belief to the New World inhabitants, which are natives. And when the natives say, we don't buy this, basically we kill them off. So religion is continued. So how can anyone determine if someone is truly faithful or saved? And you really have a hard time doing that. So they can't really tell you if you are saved or not. So you basically have to live a pious, sanctified life, holy and clean life. The Puritans want to do what they can to separate from the Church of England. They want to make sure that they are following God in this pious and sanctified life. And they want to basically make sure they are separated from the Church of England and the Catholic Pope. And they vow to purify the church from within. They are not the ones who go to North America in large numbers. The group that comes in large numbers are the separatists. And the separatists are what we now call the Pilgrims. All right, they are from the Church of England, and they feel that the Church of England is basically hopeless. So they want to separate themselves totally, and they want to become a city on a hill. And that's why they come to America and they develop these colonies so they can be an example to others on how to live a pious and sanctified life. So they have a desire, as I said earlier, to convert the Native Americans, but the Native Americans don't really buy into this, and this is the start of our decimation of the Native American peoples. Basically, they thought that there would be less evil in North America, and then it would be easier for them to live a more pious and sanctified life, which I said earlier, we just really want to live comfortably. And this is one way that they thought they would do it. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a very hard job.